Hello and welcome to the Tuesday morning live show. This is Oluso Banjo. I'd be very glad to hear from you. If you're watching live, say hashtag live, and if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put a hashtag replay. I hope you're having a great time. And for those of you that are new in the group, I'm very glad to have you. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. We're always glad to have you here. So today, I'm going to be talking about consistency. This is one questions that one question that I get over and over and over in this group and outside of this group. How do you actually do these things regularly? How do you know there's so much that you need to do because if you're a mom or you have a job, you have your family all together, and other responsibilities that you have. Some of you even have grandchildren, and all of that going on. It can get busy. It can get really busy, and trust me, I understand when I say it can get busy, because you actually make up your mind that, what, I want to have this side income thing. I want to have money coming on the side. I want to have people paying for my wisdom, and people even just to start, so that people begin to recognize you as the authority in your field, right? And what usually happens is we schedule out time that we're going to do this. Then a million other things. It's like they're actually waiting for you to commit to something, and then a million other things would start to pile on top of your schedule, whether it's at home or at work or in the community, or wherever you belong to. So I get it. It can be so overwhelming, because what now happens is you start to think that I already committed that I'm going to be doing this. I already committed that I'm going to be, sharing my wisdom and my expertise. I want to, turn this into something real, right? But then, because you're not doing it, you start to feel, overwhelmed. You start to feel frustrated. Frustration is actually the big one. Where you actually begin to feel frustrated because you promised yourself that you're going to do this, but you're not getting the time to do it. And in your mindset, what that does is it actually slows you down. That the things that you're actually doing, you're not able to do them 100%. Okay. And so this is why I want to focus on this today and say, let's discuss this and nail this down, so that you can actually begin to, with ease, put things on your plate, not overwhelm your plate, not overload yourself with stuff that you need to do, but put it in a way that would make it so easy for you. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be doing. And for those of you that are new here, this is Oluso Banjo, and what I do is I help my clients launch profitable side businesses around their expertise. And talking about around their expertise, a lot of times you don't even need a lot of experience before you can start to bring in money. The main thing that you need is you need a passion about the topic or the expertise. And when you're passionate about it, it's going to make you learn more. And when you learn more, it's going to also give you opportunity to share more and to help people with whatever it is that is your expertise. Okay, so now, talking about consistency, before I jump into explaining and giving you tips and tricks that are going to make your consistency so easy, what I want to do is I want to talk about, why do you actually need to be consistent? Okay, because a lot of times we wonder, why do I really need to be consistent? The very first one is, there are many reasons. The very first reason is, as you consistently share your expertise, there's a knowledge, there's a saying that in order to gain mastery, in order to become a master at something, or at an at an idea, you need to have at least 1,000 hours that you have put into it. Okay, now that's just the beginning. So in order for you to actually be seen as an expert, you need to have spent a long period of time, at least 1,000 hours, in that field, in that with that idea. And what that does for you is, you now begin to see the reason why consistency is extremely important. Because if you talk about going to school and all these things, this is the reason why you put all the time, and they say you have to show up in school. Why? Because you need to gain that 1,000 hours, in order for you to actually be seen as an expert and be given the certificate, or whatever it is. Okay. So that's the very first thing. So it increases your own knowledge, and then it portrays you and presents you to the world as the experts that people need to go to. So this is one of the reasons why you don't want to joke with consistency. It's not something that we debate, okay? Say, oh, I'll do it one day today, I won't do it. It's after a while, it's just, even you are going to, get distracted, and you would, forget about it. And then the next thing is, it actually opens doors of opportunities for you. Okay, when people are around you, or even with the web today, you be shocked that somebody may see your message or something that you shared online. They can see it all the way on the other end of the world. Okay, say you are in America, somebody in Australia may just discover your content, and they'll be like, wow, I have people that have discovered me just like that. I don't know them, but now I know them, right? Because of the fact that we now interact. Okay, so it's extremely important because it can open doors for you. But if you decided that you're going to do something and you don't do it, it's going to limit your ability to actually get all those opportunities that are out there in your field, right? And then the next one is the value that you bring to the marketplace begins to increase as you consistently build and share your knowledge. Now, sharing your knowledge is really, really a big way to actually learn more, to actually increase your own value. Okay, because it's not just like anybody can just read up something today and go share it. But then after a while, what happens is people begin to ask you questions. You begin to practice what you're saying. You begin to practice, and you go to school for a period of time. That's why they're building consistency in a framework. Okay, so these are many more reasons why you need to pay attention to consistency. Consistency is extremely important. Now that we've got that clear, that it's important to be, consistent at what you do. Now, the question is, how then do you become consistent? How then do you, work consistency into your life? Now, the very first point that I'm going to, want to discuss on that note, or the tip, is focus. Okay, now I found this beautiful and very powerful acronym that somebody has coined out of focus, and he said, follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. So again, if you were here last week, you would have heard me talk about focusing on one idea. A lot of times what happens is we want to focus on many ideas, and what now happens is as you begin to focus, as you begin to share, you say, I want to share my expertise, I want to do this. What happens is you would soon begin to lose interest, and you would be interested in something else, and then you'd be interested in something else, and the consistency that you're trying to build, you're not able to build it. So this is why it's extremely important that you narrow down very clearly, narrow down on what it is that is your expertise, and even go further to who is it that you're trying to help? Who is it that you're sharing this message for or to? Okay, now the more focused you are on what your idea is, the easier it's going to be for you to consistently be able to do this. You know why? Because after a while, people will begin to see you as the expert, and then they'll begin to ask you for solutions on that in that area. Okay, now a lot of people find it hard to to focus on one idea because they say, but I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about all these other things. But trust me, the way to do this is you can actually, the reason why you want to share actually is because you're very creative. And I personally believe that everyone that God made is very creative, like God. In God, we were made in God's image, right? So the reason why you would need to now bring in all of those, your other passion, is you would bring them in with some form of creativity. Okay, so for example, let's say what your idea is you want to be teaching people how to schedule their meals, okay, or how to package their meals, batch their meals. That's a thing. Actually, you can batch your meal and do like meal preps and put them in the freezer so that you don't have to keep cooking every day. And as soon as you put it in the freezer, these are things that I do actually. Put it in the freezer and you bring it out, and voila, you don't have to, it's still fresh because it was frozen as soon as you were done. Anyway, so let's say that's your idea. You want to be prepping, food for people. But at the same time, you love looking good. Okay? You love teaching people how to look good. Okay? Now, the question you have to ask yourself is there a way that I can merge these two together? Okay, is there a way that I can merge these two together so that when I share, you've heard me many times talk about, the fact that the fact that I'm sharing something and another person is sharing it, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same. Why? Because this is exactly it. You bring your uniqueness, your other passion into your main idea, you marry them together, and when you begin to share, you share sometimes in relations to this other idea. Okay, so that way you're doing justice to the two things that you're passionate about, but this one is the focus. So don't forget, follow one course until success, because if you don't, you're just going to, a lot of people, be like a lot of people that start and stop and start and stop and start and stop, and starting and stopping is not going to bring you to the result of success, a successful side business that actually brings in good money from, your expertise. Okay, so number one thing is to focus on one idea. Now the number two thing is you need to actually systematize your life and your content creation and all of this. You have to put them in a system. And now I'm going to break this down a little bit. In order for you to consistently share with people that need to hear from you, what you want to do is you want to think of a system, okay, that would enable you to actually be able to do this thing that you've promised yourself that you're going to do. Okay, and one of the ways that this works easily for me, okay, is having some systems in place in my life. One very important system is my morning routine. My morning routine is a big part, and if you scroll down, you would, one of the Saturday episodes that I did before I shared, elaborate, how I do my morning routines, but you want to have a consistent routine in the morning. Why? Because that's when you're fresh. That's when your systems have just rested. Okay. You want to program that into, the whole of your week. Okay. So that every single day, different pieces of tasks, different pieces of things that you need to do in order to be able to do what you're committed to do, you will actually be doing some of them. For example, you may actually make your morning routine the time that you write down some ideas. Okay, you write down your ideas, and so that you don't you just create it as a system in your life. That way you don't need to remember, you're going to get to it. Okay, so then as long as you already have an idea of how you're going to, do this. And I have different things that, different notes, that I would use. And I have, some other notes, and I use post-it notes also, post-it notes on my desk here, where I can use, and I can use it to write ideas. And I have a box that I put ideas in, so as soon as it comes, I have a board also that I post, some of these ideas to. And if you need an elaborate, explanation on this, you can leave me a comment. And or if you have questions on exactly how I do this, you can put a comment there. I'd like to, take it further with you. But what you want to do is you want to make it easy. Now, part of the ease is actually the writing down for me. Okay. Now, I love to use, my notepad on my computer, on my Mac. I have a notepad there, and then it's also on my phone. Okay, now these two apps are synchronized. So when I do something on my phone, it's there on my phone. And when I do it on my computer, it's there as well, and it synchronizes with each other. However, even though I do that, and I have a big system in my notepad, because, it goes with me everywhere. Some of my pieces, my hard copy books don't follow me, from country to country, right? So what you want to do though is because when I noticed that your computer or your notepad sometimes can limit you, because what happens is, as you're typing, you have the ability to, delete and all that. On a paper, it's not easy to do that. And when you're using a pen, you're not able to erase. Okay. Though I use pencils when I'm writing more. Okay. When I'm journaling and doing my study and all that, I write with a pen. But when I'm writing for ideas and contents and all that, I write with a pencil. You know why? Because I can delete, I can erase and do it again. So create systems like this that would make it so easy for you. And then the next one is just do it, whether you feel like it or not. Now, if you put the first step, the second step, which is, making sure that it's, you have systems in place, and your mindset works, around this is what I want to do. If you have all of that in place, the just do it will be easier, because there would be a topic that you can talk about. Even the days that you don't feel like it, you will still be able to do it. Even the days that you don't have time, you will still be able to do it. Okay. So just do it. And in order to, share your expertise, you have to also begin to think, who are the people that I'm going to be sharing this expertise with? Okay. Who are the people that I need to, so that would also, change and influence the way you present your material. Because if you're talking to people that are trying to batch their food, it's different from the way you're going to be talking to people that are doing, dress up and makeup and all those kind of things, or project management, or whatever it is. So just, pick a group of people that you're going to be talking to. Even pick one person that you're going to be talking to, and then just go for it and start to do it. So these are things that have really helped me personally. And I sometimes would have areas of my business that I would still have challenge with. For example, there was a time that I would produce my videos or my podcast, and it goes by email. But then the emails, sometimes one I have had the challenge with is the emails, because I'm like, oh, but I don't have anything else to write in emails. But one thing I discovered, and how this was easy for me, okay, is that the same thing that you share in your video or your post or your whatever it is the same thing that you're going to share when you're sending out your email. And there are ways to do this. Because of time, I would stop it here, but I'd like to hear from you. Now, how easy has it been for you with regards to consistency, and which of these topics or these tips works the best for you. Maybe you've tried it before, maybe you're trying it right now, maybe you want to, you want more help on how to try it. Leave me a comment. I would really love to hear from you. And yeah, so again, thank you very much for taking the time, for spending time with me. I'm not sure who that is watching live. If you're there, you can just comment something there so that I can know you're there. And but for the rest of us, for the rest of you, have a wonderful week. And for you watching live as well, have a wonderful week, and enjoy the rest of your week. And don't forget, you have inside you something really precious that the world needs to know about. Actually, I'll close with this. I've had many opportunities, but one time, a friend of mine had an opportunity that she was talking, she was doing a video like that, and I forgot what the topic was about. And she got a call from the TV station in England, and they said, we need you in the TV station today. Can you come in like 1 hour? Okay, this is just because she shares. Okay, and they needed somebody like her to answer some questions, right? And some other person would got a call from Google, and they're like, we need somebody like you to come and help us with this topic. Okay, it doesn't even have to be a topic that you're in. Okay, so it just gives you opportunities. So I want you to focus on this and say, I'm going to be consistent with what it is that I want to share, and I'm going to just get out there and just do it, whether I feel like it or not. All right, have a wonderful day, and God bless. Bye bye.